Welcome to Scoundrels, Inc. We are covering the Season 3 premiere of The Mandalorian, and this is also one of the last shows we're going to have Kevin with us.
What, are you guys firing me? Did I get fired?
I think this is the last show with
No,
Kevin.
we have one more on Monday.
No,
This is the
special guest for Monday.
Special guest. He's a special guest on
Yeah.
I'm
Monday.
a special
My
in-studio
bad.
guest.
We offered him to be the sheriff over here on Nevarro, but he said he's got to go
I got some pressing matters.
He's got to go swim in the waters of San Diego.
He's
to,
got
like,
some bad
repent or
tweets to write.
something.
Oh, God. Anyways, if you want to listen to us on podcasts, we're on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or anywhere else you get your podcasts. And hit that subscribe button on our YouTube channel. It would help us out a lot. But right now, we're going to get into Mando and the Season 3 premiere.
That's my impersonation of the instrument.
That's pretty good.
Thanks.
For,
It's a valid chord.
for someone of your level. Yeah.
Thank you.
I don't know if that was a compliment or not.
I don't know
I
what
was
that
trying
was.
to figure it out.
Feel like it wasn't.
Perfectly worded where it could have been a compliment
Yeah.
or an insult.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
can go with either.
Yeah.
My headcanon is it's a compliment, but it probably
Your
wasn't.
head's a cannon?
I was thinking about that one
to come.
transformer where it's like head turns into a gun.
A gunhead.
Gun. Yeah. Yeah. So Brandon.
Optimus AR-50.
Brandon,
I'm so
Oh,
afraid to do
man.
this on the
Yeah, just put it on the floor, guy.
Order!
Oh.
order, we shall have order.
So you may have seen on some of our social medias that Brandon over here went to the premiere of Mandalorian Season 3. Brandon, did you
Take my
meet
hat
anyone
off to you.
famous? Did you shake any hands? Did you kiss any babies?
Oh, did I shake hands?
He made out with Bix, bro.
Well, that's the wrong
No,
show.
that's
but was she there though?
inappropriate. Not that I know of.
Damn. Okay. Well. All right.
you
Anyways.
would have known if she was there.
Oh, you would have known.
You would have known.
I don't know. I would have, see what I could do for you, Frank.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Appreciate it.
But no, I had a great time. I went there with Dorian Parks of Geeks of Color. He was so graciously allowed me to be his cameraman for his red carpet interviews. And it was a lot of fun. I did get to meet a few big names in the Star Wars world.
Like that kid.
Like that kid.
That kid.
The kid. We did interview the kid, the little Mando kid at the beginning of this episode. He said that he couldn't talk about his character at all. It's a mystery. And it still is.
Although I think he can technically take off the helmet. He never swore it completely.
He never did.
They made a point of that.
They need
too.
a
I wonder if
redo.
Yeah,
They need a
yeah,
redo. But no, it was an absolute blast. I was, like I told you guys and I mentioned on Twitter, I was super starstruck meeting Doug Chang.
Yeah.
The moment I saw he was going to be there, he was on the little sheet that they give out. Like, here's all the people that are going to be here.
Nice.
Here's their names, what they do, who they play.
Did you ask him any questions about the prequels?
Not about the prequels per se, but
Tell him what he thought about the Rise of Skywalker.
I did not talk about the
Here's
Rise
a
of
link if you got some time,
Yeah, yeah.
Doug.
But no,
We'd love you to come on our podcast.
we did a great interview that I'm sure is going to go up on the Geeks of Color socials. So make sure you go follow Geeks of Color on TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. That's where you catch all these. But no, we were able to ask him about. First, I was dying to know about how he felt about the N1 Starfighter. Making a comeback, being in the Mandalorian in this new era of Star Wars, and he kind of talked about like that it was very exciting, of course, and he kind of gave us like a little nugget that I was like kind of giddy about, or I was asking, okay, like. Well, Dorian asked. I asked Dorian to ask, but
You told
I was
Dorian what
asking.
to say, basically.
I was asking, but like through Dorian as my conduit. He was my Snoke.
Did you ask if
Snoke.
if Tim's alive? Is that what?
He was my. I was like, is Tim gonna come back in this season of Mandalorian?
Will we get Tim's backstory?
Tim a Star Wars?
Can Tim fly an N1 Starfighter? Anyways, serious stuff. Now I'm like, you guys are all looking at
Yeah.
me
Well,
really
I
weird.
want to know.
I don't
What's
think
the
you've
nugget?
ever all
Because-
looked at me like
Because
this.
we did
normally-
last week. We did last week. Trust me.
I'm like looking on the barrel of a gun. I'm just like, what the hell?
Well, because the N1 is like my favorite
Yes.
starship, so I'm very interested here.
Yes. So Dorian asked, we asked collectively Doug Chang. since we see the N1 make a comeback, are there any other of your designs from the prequels going to make an appearance in The Mandalorian or like just in future Star Wars shows and movies in general? And he said yes, but he can't tell us because it's a big surprise.
Ooh.
What are our
So-
guesses?
I'm trying
our
to now.
guesses?
Yeah, I got to rack the.
I
Naboo ship
was
that
grinning
Padme
ear to
flew?
ear. I was like a little kid. Like,
Oh, the Nubian?
Swear to God.
Nubian,
We
That
got
would
lots
be-
of that. Well, the N1 Starfighter is also Nubian.
Well,
That's the
I mean-
manufacturer.
I got okay. Well,
Yeah.
what is it? The Queen's?
It's the
Come on, Frank, you should know that, dude.
327, J-Type 327.
Oh, okay, yeah. So the Queen's,
Yes.
Queen's
How you know
Starship.
that?
That'd be, dude. I would flip out about that. I would love to say I would be like repurposed.
But it would all maybe it's
Yeah.
all rusted. And
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah,
With
so-
a little piece cut out of Captain Phasma's shape, because her armor is made from a Nubian
Wow, it looks
ship
like
like
just
that.
enough for
Yeah,
one
like, wait, why is
armor.
there a
It's made
female
from,
shape?
Palpatine's.
What?
Her armor's made from Palpatine's cruiser.
Yeah, but like
Yeah.
Nubian, right? Yeah.
But yeah, no, it was very exciting. He was like, "Yes, we're going to see more of prequel designs, but it's kind of a surprise. I don't want to give anything away." So I was
Dang it,
immediately
Doug.
thinking, I'm like, Jedi Starfighters.
That'd be cool.
That'd be a good
Ooh,
one.
yeah.
Are we
Well,
gonna go
so-
to a prequel era planet that had like a very specific design?
I mean,
Naboo.
where would you go?
Naboo.
No, everybody knows Naboo turned into Dagobah.
Coruscant.
Remember
What
that
if-
theory?
I mean,
The entire planet's one big city.
I used to think that it was going to happen.
No, that's Coruscant. I mean, it could be
a lot of things. I don't know.
I don't know.
Pod racers?
Maybe
Possibly, yeah. That
that'd
seems
be a
logical
cool.
too.
That'd be a cool thing.
Because
that
you
we
kind of
can-
got that in the Marshall
Little bit,
episode with
yeah.
Pod
Well, we
Van,
only get
so-
what 7? How many episodes is it? 8 episodes a season.
Yep.
So we only have 7 left.
Yep.
Think they could squeeze pod racing? In
Well,
there?
I mean, they did in season 2 premiere with Cobb Vanth when he's riding with Mando. He has that one pod race
Yeah.
engine that looks like it could be Anakin's, never confirmed. But so I think I could see something like that popping up, but maybe like an actual full-fledged pod race. Or what if Mando has to do like a pod race this season?
I mean, if he says it's a big surprise, it's got to be something that like.
Yeah.
In order to get the access code to Mandalore, you must win this pod race. That's a
Boonta
very
Eve.
role-playing game.
Yeah.
It was very exciting because I was like, Dorian, you gotta. If I could ask you one thing tonight, you have to ask Doug Chang this. And like,
Yeah.
we didn't know what was gonna happen. And then when he responded, like, Doug Chang like seemed to get like excited. He was like, "Yeah,
Oh,
like,
I'm sure.
something's
Oh,
coming
man.
up, and
Well,
it's gonna
he
be
did-
like a surprise." And all 3 of us were like,
I missed it. I was
Breaking news.
trying
Yeah.
to make it to the panel, but he did a panel at Celebration.
Oh, that's right.
About prequel era
Yeah.
and Starship design. I didn't get to go, but our friend of the show, Saul Saul went. He said it was great. So
That's right.
Well, and if we can't make a celebration this year, we'll go next year.
No, we have-
we
we have-
won't go next year. Never mind.
we have plans for Celebration this year.
Oh yeah, we're somehow going to be there. But anyways, what else? I mean, you
Yes.
talk to Doug.
So Doug was the highlight, honestly, for me. Like, I just my like prequel loving heart. You know,
Awesome.
man. I was like, this guy's a freaking legend, and he was everything that you'd hope he'd be in person. He was like just super kind, like super thoughtful, energetic. So shout out to Doug Chang. I know he's a big fan of the show.
You send him the link. You send him
What's
the
up,
link.
Doug?
He tells us to subscribe.
Did you give him the T-shirt that you're parading all over?
No,
should've.
I did my best to parade the Scoundrels T-shirt.
Did you wear it like a
everywhere.
cape?
I almost wish we had gotten better quality Scoundrels.
I was like, of course.
It's
This would
photographed well though. Like you,
Yeah.
you can see the
did
ink
enough,
behind
yeah,
the
yeah.
logo.
Next
I thought that
time,
looked
next
good.
time, I don't know who, but I'm gonna get somebody to wear it.
Yeah.
I will.
Got to get like a kind of like a Velcro, like so I could like tear it on and off easily. Because no one's gonna,
Who knows?
who knows? We'll see.
Well, I mean, if you just give out like 4 shirts, someone will end up wearing it somewhere.
But if you see that picture, Grogu was looking very fondly at the logo.
Oh,
Love
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Zoom
Yeah.
in.
Yeah.
That was a
Picture.
nice catch.
Hey, so how'd you guys watch the episode? Did you watch it last night?
I did. Absolutely, I watched it last night.
Kevin, you watched it today, this morning?
I did, but not during work. Like I took time, not like a Bad Batch where I watched it on
my
the side.
God.
I actually sat and watched it.
I
Did you
watched
say
it.
this will begin to make things right when you hit play?
Listen, my love for that episode made me so freaking like warmed up to Star Wars that like I love the new Bad Batch too. So it was like, thank you, Grogu, for making me love the Bad Batch. And you watched it on your Apple Watch on the drive here, right?
Yeah. I watched it the way that Rick Famuyiwa intended on my phone in my car.
You tell Doug Ching that?
With a slight audio delay because it's plugged into my speaker.
Are you serious? Are you serious?
Oh no!
It's like a half-second delay.
How can you have like the best experience and the worst right after?
Like he interviews everybody on the red carpet and then watches.
Literally, Jon Favreau waved at me. Well, he waved at the camera, but I was holding the camera. He waved at me.
Yeah, he's trained to
And
wave
then
at
you
cameras,
watched his
so.
episode on your freaking phone.
And
in the car.
I shook Daniel Logan's hand. So
Boba Fett
himself shook my hand.
Boba Fett where?
I'm never washing this thing ever again.
Did you tell that Sabrina? How did she take it?
She understood. It's Boba Fett. Bro.
Okay, cool.
Freaking Boba Fett. He has
Is
a
he
whole
ripped?
book.
Is he still ripped? Like I heard he got all buff and stuff.
You seem very physically fit.
Nice.
Yeah.
Did you like feel his chest and stuff?
No,
my
no,
gosh.
that would have been. That's maybe next time we hang out.
Second
That's like
date.
a second date
red
type
carpet.
of thing.
Second red carpet.
That's second red carpet behavior.
Hey, so I watched it last night.
Okay.
Midnight.
How did you dim the lights?
I dim the lights.
Main question: did you skip?
Oh fuck yeah!
Why? No, you did it. No, you did it. No, you did it. No, you did
this
it.
doesn't have an intro.
Well,
There
it
was
does.
the
Actually.
music
It
was
does.
a little different.
Yes,
music was a little
It
different.
is different, and the music was.
There was like a
awesome.
slow
Epic.
build.
But so I dim the lights. I put on my I've got really nice pair of headphones.
Nah.
Watching it.
you
like,
put on your Mandalorian
2 foot.
helmet.
Put on the Mandalorian helmet.
This is the way.
And then after I hung out in the Discord talking to our peeps.
I
about
saw
it.
that.
You know what,
it was,
I
it was a
didn't
crowded little
Thing to
Discord
go to
at
Discord
midnight.
at
Yeah.
12:36 in the morning when I will now.
I wanted
So,
to see what the folks were.
Yeah.
They were chatting about it. It was cool.
I wanted to say most of our fan base. There's a couple people that I think are on the same page as I am about the episode.
Interesting.
But most of the fan base seems like they're like best episode ever with this one.
Oh,
most of our fan base. I mean.
okay, interesting.
Yeah.
Best episode ever? I don't know about that. It's good.
I mean,
It's good.
We're getting a lot of 11 out of 10s.
I mean,
Good for them. Honestly.
Well, don't they know how a
great for
scale
them.
works? You can't go higher than 10. It should be 10
Spinal
out of 10.
Tap.
No,
bro.
this one went to 11 though.
Spinal Tap.
the asteroid field battle was awesome.
Yeah.
How many Babu Fricks did we get in this episode?
3.
Was it
Bad baby.
Amazing.
Bad baby.
Bad baby.
No work. Broken.
Friend, he's not your friend no
The
more.
broken.
Whatever he says.
Was
Not
that
your friends.
Was that Shirley Henderson?
It sounded like
One of
Shirley
them
Henderson.
did. One of them sounded like Shirley Henderson, and I was
and
like,
it kind of looked like Babu.
I was like, is that a young Babu? Are we
I
getting
s-
a young Babu?
Well, that was my question. I saw it in the not my question, but I saw it in the chat that someone asked if it was.
in the Discord
know.
Yeah.
Q&A portion?
We get a
Q&A,
tree
yeah.
full
Oh,
of
yeah, sure.
salacious speak
Is that for
crumbs.
this episode of the Q&A?
I
don't
mean,
wanna
yeah,
overstep.
we are gonna throw that one in here.
Listen,
I saw that and I was like, oh yeah,
Jon
is it?
Favreau finally giving the people what they want: a tree full of salacious bee crumbs and a tiny house full of Babu Fricks.
I mean, and on top of that, you just have Grogu. So it's
Yeah.
like hugging
They
the aliens, whatever.
They multiply it
And
because
Zillion.
they got
And
water
Zillion,
on it.
right?
They got
Yeah.
water on.
He's like,
the,
no, Grogu, that's not a pet.
It's great.
Bad
It's
baby.
That
Bad
whole,
baby.
That whole
love
sequence is
that.
really great with Grief.
No
like
squeeze.
interpreting for Din, even though like halfway through Din could then understand most of the
Yeah,
words.
they're
was
speaking
funny.
English. It's just broken.
It
Yeah.
is, but it was also I really loved the shot when they cut to the wide and you see Din just like
Yeah, and
Indian style sitting.
It's
in the,
like
in
Luke
the,
and Yoda's hut.
It is. It's
It's pretty
exactly
clear.
like that.
It's pretty
yeah.
clear. Din had to crawl in.
I want to see that shot. Him just like army crawling in
What if
there.
the pirates showed up while he was in there?
He's fucked. And I like how the last time he just looks at him and then he's like, okay,
Oh yeah.
you know, like, enough with the translation.
He's like just translating, but he's saying the exact same thing.
There's a shot. There's a
great.
shot before Grief starts interpreting where you see Grief walk by the hole.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, because he's like not leaned in yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. That's funny.
That was another one last night. Seeing Carl Weathers in
Oh,
person
man.
up close, I was like, "That's Apollo Creed."
Now I
Dude, that's
assume
so
That's
did,
freaking me out
did
right
he
now.
did you get any stew recipes from him?
Stew? No stew.
Should have got some stew.
He's a big stew guy.
Big stew guy.
He was nice. You could see like his publicist was like, "All right, like only time for one question." Like it was really warm in there because they had it inside because of the rain,
Nah.
and you could see like he was like starting to sweat a little bit, but he still like took the time to like talk to us and have a little bit of a conversation
That's
back
cool.
and forth. So he was really cool.
He just seems like the coolest dude. man.
yeah. Everyone was super nice for sure. Yeah.
Awesome.
Great.
You killed it too.
Meet
Props
your
to you.
heroes,
Props to
kids.
you, bro. That was awesome.
Wait a minute.
The what?
What?
See, you're not supposed to be the other way. Never meet your hero.
But these ones were nice.
Oh, okay, great.
Sometimes you can meet your heroes.
I could have sworn I saw Rick Famuyiwa at brunch like 3 weeks ago. We didn't get the chance to talk to him, so I couldn't ask if he was at brunch.
Hey, man, I'm stalking. I just want to know if I'm doing this right. Were
Yeah,
you
Rick,
at...
Rick, do you brunch? Do you brunch?
Yeah.
You brunch, bro?
Have you checked out this place in West Hollywood, Rick? Been there before, Rick? Maybe like 3 weeks ago? With a friend?
Probably think you're asking him out on a date.
He's like,
Maybe he says yes. Maybe I have a new celebrity boyfriend. Who knows?
let's talk about the start of this episode, though. We kind of talked about it with the music playing over the intro a little bit, which was different compared to the fanfare we've been getting with the TV shows, and then it launches into their armor, crafting a helmet. We all thought it was like, I think we talked about this a little bit before. We all thought, well, some of us did, that it might be a flashback for like the first 10 seconds, and then clearly it wasn't. But this whole like baptism into the Mandalore kind of creed,
in
way
the
of
water,
life, in the water, very culty, very religious, very harkens back to, because I went back and watched seasons 1, 2, and last 3 episodes of Book of Boba Fett, and when Din is on Sorgan, and I forget the woman's name, but ask him, when's the last time you took off your helmet? He's like, and he points out the window, not much older when they were, and this boy, the guy, the kid who couldn't say anything at the red carpet, he's like that age that Din was pointing to. I was like, is this a flashback?
I was like, is he a young Din? Is that why he was like, because he was like, oh, it's going to be like really cool, like when you see who I'm playing, so...
but this is like, I was like, oh, Din went through this type of ritual, and it's just like, you're kind of seeing a little bit of his past, Mandalorian past, I guess you could say, or at least the Children of the Watch, which was really interesting to watch. So I don't know what you guys thought about this whole ceremony.
Yeah, I mean, I love Mandalorians. I love all the stuff about their culture. All my favorite characters in Star Wars, except for Kanan, are Mandalorians. Man, I hate these guys. They're so...
The sect of Mandalorians?
The Children of the Watch, I hate them.
You don't agree with their policy about the not helmet removal?
No, it's so dumb.
It makes no sense.
How do they, by the way, like procreate? Like, are they all naked except they keep the helmets on? I literally was thinking that.
They keep the helmet on. They are allowed to take their other helmet off.
Oh, boy.
All right.
No, and I'll tell you what part of it is. Part of it is, it's not necessarily because of their actual depiction in the show. It's because of people's interpretation of like, oh, now I better say this is the way every time anyone mentions something Mandalorian.
This is the way.
And it's like, the culture is so much fucking bigger than this little subsect of, whatever.
Yeah.
Rest assured, in our Revan prequels, we're not having anybody say this is the way. None of the Mandalorians, because I agree.
But what was
I mean,
the armor was acting like Milton in Office Space, just like, you took off your helmet.
Yeah,
you took off your helmet.
I believe you took off your helmet.
I believe you took off your helmet. I'm gonna burn this whole place down.
An apostate.
He doesn't even say thank you, too. He just comes in there.
No.
And he walks in there probably to be like, are you going to thank me? Like,
I don't think he maybe
no, I
necessarily
don't think
thought
that's
that,
why. But
like,
yeah.
I mean, I was actually,
you're no
when he
longer
walked in there,
Mandalorian.
I was wondering if she was going to say thank you or something along those
thank
lines.
you, but I still can't.
I was like,
break the creed.
because when he comes in and swoops in and saves the day, I was like, well, they're not going to view him as a Mandalorian, so this is going to be interesting.
Well, I'm probably the only one on the panel that thought it was a flashback up until he popped through
Oh,
the
really?
ship. So it got me like that fun pop of like, whoa, oh my god, okay, so it's not a flashback. Because I was actually thinking, because the kid looked really young and kind of fair, that it could be Bo-Katan's flashback.
Oh,
like,
interesting.
you know what I mean? Like, because I don't know, because it was the blue helmet and stuff like that.
Sure.
So when he popped in, like, first of all, I was also shocked when the big thing popped out, the shark came through or whatever it is.
It is a dinosaur turtle.
Love it.
The subtitles.
That was awesome. And then when he popped in and then his theme hit, like, that was when I realized, oh, it's not a flashback. And I don't know if that was the intention, but it got
I had
me
the
that
same
way.
realization
I think
at the same time.
So my realization was
We're
a
just
lot.
dumb.
Well, no, I
Slow.
think that was the intention behind the
I
scene.
think probably, yeah.
So my realization was a little bit sooner because I know that Din it was still the Death Watch when Din was.
Oh, that's right. When it was taken.
Indoctrinated.
Yeah, that's right.
So they would be in predominantly blue, whereas this group. So there's I say I mostly am exaggerating when I say I completely hate this group. it's pretty interesting because they are a hodgepodge of a bunch of different Mando groups. They're clearly the remnants of Mandalore that,
right.
Because if they were all Death Watch, they'd all look like Paz, and next to Paz there was a Night Owl.
Right. We've seen that in the trailers. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
the hell's a Night Owl?
Night Owl is
from the Watchmen movie.
Yeah.
no,
Patrick Wilson.
The Night Owls were a splinter sect of predominantly female members of Death Watch, led by Bo-Katan.
And then the men were led. They led the Day Pigeons. They were like the Day.
Day Pigeons.
Yeah,
yes.
the men's sect.
Terrifying.
Yeah. The Day Pigeons. They had a cool color scheme.
You can't feed them bread.
No, you cannot.
No,
you cannot.
Mostly because they can't take off their helmets.
No, so in Clone Wars, for those that aren't aware, for our fans that aren't aware, during the Clone Wars, there is a schism formed between pre-Vizsla and
post-Vizsla
and Bo-Katan involving Darth Maul, and Darth Maul takes the Darksaber, and the Night Owls.
He waves it around.
The Night Owls and some remnant of Death Watch split off from the rest of Death Watch. Meanwhile, Maul and Death Watch take over Mandalore and then repaint all their Death Watch armor red and black. Some of them with Darth Maul spikes, which looks kind of badass.
Yeah. I mean, Bo can be pissed all she wants at the Children of the Watch, but also Maul really F shit up on Mandalore.
It's not really the Children of the Watch's fault.
Yeah.
It's really Darth Maul's fault.
I mean, it's fair to be upset at the Children of the Watch and what they ended up breaking off. It's fair, but like I think you should have more anger at the
And so I kind of have a theory that the Children of the Watch are explicitly what formed after. That they did not exist prior to
maybe not
the Purge. I think they formed after the Purge, and are all of the remnants of the other clans that
their numbers at least grew after the Purge for sure, right? So maybe they were a small sect.
Well, I would assume at least Paz Vizsla would be a member of Death Watch.
Yeah,
right, being the son or the nephew or something of Pre Vizsla.
Right. Interesting, but this whole beginning part of the episode was very interesting, and I think it does set up what I think we've all been kind of wondering is Din's been on this path of like, well, what does it mean to be a Mandalorian? And I think when you're seeing the indoctrination method of this particular sect or cult, whatever you want to call it, I think it further advances what does it mean to be a Mandalorian? Why is he going through these steps to find redemption? And we're seeing more intricacies of this cult, and we're all like, you are just like, why are you even Bo-Katan, near the end of the episode, like, you're a fool, dude. Like, wake up. And so I think seeing all these different aspects of this group is really, really interesting, and should, I think, set up, at least for the audience, or at least for me, is like, dude, Din, like, you're better than this. Like, you know better than, he's like in between of knowing better and still adhering to tradition.
So. Yeah, because he's like just like one of the most like badass characters we've seen in the Star Wars galaxy, and he's like still like holding on to these like, I don't know, like outdated like ways. He's just like, I have to go to Mandalore and bathe in these waters, and Bo-Katan's like, bro, like you literally have the Darksaber.
Well, part of it is that he's not Mandalorian by birth, whereas the Armorer, Paz Vizsla, and Bo-Katan are all born on Mandalore. So, like, Bo-Katan knows the error of their ways because Bo-Katan saw what happened prior with the, with the new Mandalorians, the sort of pacifist Mandalorians and all that stuff. So Bo is well aware that, hey, no, this is all, a twisting of our beliefs. And for me, my voice cracked there.
Yeah.
For me, it's more of a matter of like, as long as you're an honorable warrior and following the ways of Mandalore, and I don't mean that in the way they do, I just mean in the like, there's a warrior creed to this. As long as you're following some version of that, you're a Mandalorian, right? Like,
listen to Canderous. He knows the way.
Yeah, exactly. Canderous Ordo, also known as Mandalore the Uniter, I believe. Am I right about that?
Yeah,
Greg?
I think so.
Or is he he might be Mandalore the Great.
But I think that it's kind of like, it's very cultish, and like, not to bring it super dark, but it feels like it would, those people that like joined the cult and then they were told if they ate the Jello, they would die, but then their souls would go up in a spaceship over Earth. Like there are people that lived full lives that were fully informed about Earth and life and the news that still followed blindly this guy, right? And so some people are just kind of indoctrinated so early on that like, no, I'm going to eat this, Jello and fly up to space. And I think that's what Bo-Katan probably looks at them like. It's like they're like crazy cult, like they're weird. Like just come over to us, take your helmet off, let's have a drink.
I know.
The fuck out.
I know Frank watched it. You guys didn't watch it though. I don't think the Vow.
Oh yeah,
it reminds me a lot of that.
Oh my gosh,
it's like it's good in theory. Their beliefs are good in theory, but when you actually put them into practice and then compare them to another similar organization,
but it's how you twist.
See all the cracks.
It's how you
twist,
right? It's how you doctrinate and then further twist your fundamental teachings for nefarious purposes and self-serving purposes. But yeah, so
real quick, so I don't get blasted by some fanboy in the comments. He was Mandalore the Preserver.
Oh, okay. There
Too
we
late.
go.
They've already commented. They didn't make it this far.
Yeah, but now
Sean.
don't worry. Now they'll go back and delete the comment. Yeah.
No, we need it. We need the
or
engagement.
They'll correct the comment.
Yeah, we should be wrong about a lot of things to piss people off. So they're constantly correcting us with time codes, and then
honestly,
it helps the
I don't know why we
algorithm.
haven't thought about that before. Like,
But you know
Yeah,
what?
I loved this episode of season 5 of The Mandalorian. It was great.
well,
Come at me.
Season 4 at least. Come on.
I don't. So then,
They're actually. Speaking of what season it is,
yeah,
I like that the chapter title. The chapters are just
continuation.
sequential.
Yeah.
So
Love
we're
that.
on chapter
17.
17.
Yeah, this is 17.
Yeah, I love that.
That was
that
cool.
it's just sequential like that.
Before we go any further, actually, because we're gonna jump into the Grogu, Purrgil, the hyperspace stuff, and earlier in the week there was the quote or misquote or line from Favreau about the passage of time between season 2, season 3, and what happened with Book of Boba Fett. And he later clarified more on the red carpet. I saw another interview from somebody. I don't know.
I think it was Variety.
Yeah, Variety.
Who we were standing right next to, by the way.
So really, you guys asked
So
the question.
I feel like you asked it.
Yeah.
I asked it. No, actually, I wouldn't ask something like that because I wouldn't want to annoy him. I wanted to ask him questions from like a real fan perspective. So
Like, hey Dave, can you tell me about your process on Iron Man?
I was
Is he coming back? Like, what's going on?
The first thing that I made sure came out of Dorian's mouth was B1 battle droids.
Nice.
Let's talk about those.
Well, but I do want to ask about this. He said, well, it takes place between 0 and 2 years, the time that Grogu was with Luke. I know a lot of people are up in arms about this line. And
Is that what Up in Arms is?
Yeah. Oh, just bleh, bleh.
There's your thumbnail.
And
Fucking
Scoundrels Inc. goes up in arms.
we're burning down the internet. I don't know. I think there is a point of being interested in the timeline and in the duration of time passage, which has always been somewhat nebulous throughout various stories in Star Wars, especially when you look at Empire Strikes Back and whatnot. At the time Luke spent with Yoda and all of that.
I think it's pretty clear that that movie takes less than a couple hours. Have you watched it?
Right, but I think there's a point of going like, that's kind of weird, and then kind of leaving it alone. I mean, that's my approach. I'm like, well, all right, sure. Again, we've talked about the point of there's a valid point of criticism between having a major plot point resolved in another show. I think that's valid, but to expend so much energy negatively towards someone and a story, it's I don't understand why to go to such lengths to debate it endlessly for like 3 days until the premiere, or 2 days, whatever it was for the premiere. Does Favreau's explanation of 0 to 2 years that Grogu has spent with Luke or has been apart from Mando, does that bother you, or does that like make the story less interesting or messy for you?
I don't really care.
Cool. I appreciate that.
I don't know.
It bothers me. It still does bother me that a pivotal part of the show was not in the show. Mm-hmm. And for what we talked about last week, right? It has nothing to do with like whether or not I think people are going to see it before they see Mandalorian or any of that. It has more to do with like, if you look at the way Flash and Arrow operated, there were you literally could not watch The Flash without also watching Arrow at the same time. If I didn't want to watch Arrow or didn't give a shit about Arrow, I'm now stuck watching this other show to know what's going on. And I think that it will matter more in 5 years than it does now.
Interesting.
Right?
I thought that the Prevon could have solved it, and the Prevon didn't.
Yeah, they didn't.
That's what.
I'm,
That's
I'm literally again editing a Prevon for my show, and like it's very
Why don't
difficult.
you put that in your Prevon?
Yeah, I should sneak it in. But like, and it's funny because everything in the Prevon needs to inform what our future season is, because it's a Prevon from last season. So it's been a back and forth, because the first version of it, there were some parts where they had to inform me, actually, that's not being covered next season, so we're not going to have it. Or, hey, we need to have this part in to explain why this girl is talking to this person or whatever. So it was like a back and forth, and it was very precise. That's what a Prevon is. So it was funny like watching it, because I've just been into such Prevon city the last 10 days, 10 edit days, 2 weeks, that I was fully expecting it. And I think it would have been I'm a little more on your side, where it does kind of still annoy me. And they should have thrown it in the Prevon, because I get it now. I get it in the scene. He does say he was not with me for a while. Now he's with me. Like, get on.
Yeah.
It reminded me of Iron Man 2 when Don Cheadle shows up and looks at Robert Downey Jr. and he's like, "Look, I'm here. Let's get over it." And it's meta about how it's not the other actor,
Terrence
but,
Howard.
Yeah. So.
Next time, baby.
The lack of info was a definite. And the Prevon was like, they should have just thrown it in there. Obi-Wan isn't episode 3 or 2 or 1, but they had footage from all of those.
They had like a 10-minute preview.
Yeah, it was a great Prevon.
And I will say they kind of just gloss over, although they do cover the information in the episode. It's a real quick gloss over line, right?
So,
yeah, he's just like, he was with me, now he's not. Move on.
If you go to Star Wars YouTube channel, they have the journey between, or like, how did we get to this point? And it's like a 2 or 3 minute video.
Should have aired it.
They actually they go through all season 1, the points, then they jump to season 2, and then they literally say the Book of Boba Fett, and they show you kind of the beats that happened for their story. And I thought, oh well, some version of this will be the Prevon for, and it wasn't. But so I don't know, but
that's my only critique of the episode, to be honest. Like, if I was trying to find other negative things, it's like just the Prevon, because I'm kind of. I ventured towards his side of thinking of like, like, especially if it's not in the Prevon now, I feel bad for people, because there are a lot of layman's. Like, when I think I was on Sith Council and Christian was talking about how he had like friends in New York that barely watch Star Wars, and like when they're like, wait, the Mandalorian's coming back, like they had no clue about Book of Boba Fett. They don't care about Book of Boba Fett, so they're gonna be absolutely lost, right? And the Prevon doesn't help them. So.
Yeah. Do I have to watch this YouTube video before or after I play Fortnite and get the rest of the information?
I think it's too late now. It's too late now. So, but I mean, watch it at your leisure whenever you want.
I think it's hidden in the new Lego Star Wars game.
Right.
Of course.
You have to find it in the Nether in Minecraft.
I don't know what that is.
That's my point. Right? Like it's this whole thing of like, that's great. They put out a 2-minute YouTube video, but who's going to see that?
A lot of people. It's like 3 million people watch that video.
Sure,
like that.
but
so,
who are all already going to be watching both these shows anyway?
How many of those clicks were you, Frank?
Probably at least half.
I mean, I don't think anybody's going to turn it off in anger when Grogu pops up.
No.
And like, wait, what?
No,
but still.
But I do know, like, fucking.
I mean, that's why I do think this whole thing's blown out of proportion, because the people talking about it have probably know what's up, and the layman's who don't will probably be like, well, I'm a layman. I don't.
Once you see all those Babu
care,
Fricks
like,
running around, you ain't going to be worrying about how long Grogu's been away.
Here's a great example. I found Firefly long after Firefly aired, right? Because I watched Serenity. And then I went back to watch Firefly and went, I'm so fucking confused. What's going on? And I had to find out that all the episodes were aired out of order.
Yeah.
Right? It's
Really?
but it's
Yeah, it was
but it's
a
this
whole
weird
thing.
I've been in that spot where I've been frustrating watching a TV show where I'm missing something, but I'm 5 years, 10 years, whatever, separated from the original airing of it. Where like, oh well, it was a TV special that aired on ABC the night before. I'm like, why the fuck am I supposed to know that? Right?
It's kind of like the Clone Wars, like how everything, like when I was doing the rewatch, stopped when I ran out of time.
When you got to move.
I'll get back to it. But it's like, oh, I got to go to, I'm jumping to season 3 for one, and then I go to 4 for one, and then I'm back to 1, but in the middle of season 1, like, when they aired it like that, it must have been so weird to be like, wait, why are they on Christophsis again? Like,
but the way Cartoon Network aired shit, it almost didn't matter. Because it wasn't, there wasn't meant to be continuity in the same way.
There wasn't on-demand viewing
Yeah.
that prominent at that time. You had TiVo and stuff like that, but
This
like
is for little kids.
Yeah.
You know, whatever.
that's my TiVo.
Listen, it's like poetry. It's out of order.
But I think that's the other thing that
Hey, look, this guy looks like Watto.
You know, I wanted the experience of watching the Clone Wars to be like watching Star Wars Episode 4. What happened to the first 3 episodes?
All right, I don't spend too much time on this because it's really been debated ad nauseum. But yeah,
I was gonna make a dumb joke about the armorer. When Mando comes back and saves them, because you were talking about like he was waiting for a thank you.
Yeah.
She should have pulled a Mace Windu and she'd be like, "Oh, thanks for the help, citizen."
Yeah.
It's not a dumb joke.
Oh, thank you.
It's not a funny joke, but it's not dumb.
It's in the middle.
Yeah, it's right there.
It's a great callback.
It's one of those, haha, that's funny, but you don't actually laugh. I'll take it.
Purgle.
Purgle. Yeah, Brandon, what do you think of the Purgle?
Dude, I love Purgle.
Yeah, I know you're a big fan. It's your favorite
talking
Rebels.
about a delicate meal at a nice restaurant.
I am aware of
It was overcooked, but it was, you know.
I am aware of these hyperspace whales.
Stupid fucking space whales.
I thought the scene it was very beautiful.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it very much.
Remember how much people flipped out about the space
Oh
whales?
my
I think
gosh,
I
do
think it
I
was a good way
ever.
to handle it in live action, like showing like almost like their silhouettes in the hyperspace lanes.
100%. I thought it was a genius way.
That's a good way
be
to handle
like,
it in
hey,
live action. Acknowledge it.
yeah.
Solo a Star Wars story. Didn't that have like a giant space beast? We were okay with it.
Kinda.
The Maelstrom?
It was the
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 thing in the
maw.
Maelstrom.
There's that
Or the
big
Maw,
giant
whatever.
creature in it.
Yeah.
The
sumo,
Akasadasi.
It's in the maw, or it is the maw. I don't know.
Sumo
Behemoth.
Vermaloth?
Sumo Vermaloth. Yeah, something like that. That was like I think people.
But can you get to it in less than 12 parsecs?
Well, so here's
I mean,
here's
it
the
did
thing
kill the
with-
movie division for like 5 years, I guess. But
I think Frank.
Good movie.
I think Frank's probably gonna agree with me on this. I think the Purgil are a foreshadowing for the Ahsoka series.
I would like
Probably.
to think so.
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah, like it's gotta like.
I
guys,
still hope.
get
I
ready.
think I predicted like a while back. I would love for this season to end with Ahsoka and Ezra showing up, and then the Ahsoka show shows us how we got to that point. That would be cool.
I mean,
I was expecting to see a silhouette of Ezra on top of one of them.
They're both riding the space whales with their
check out
lightsabers
Brian,
ignited.
Check out Brian
Like
Ward's
Theoden in Lord of the Rings.
fan
and they're
art
both
that he
chanting,
did. Brian Ward's Twitter account has he made a Photoshop of Thrawn and Ezra riding on the back of a Purgle in that scene. It's
a good
really
Photoshop.
fun. It's really good.
It looked,
it's really
looked
good.
legit.
They should hire Brian Ward.
Yeah, I was like, is that the ending of Rebels? Because I've never seen it.
You know what? It's gonna be like Crush in Finding Nemo coming into the.
I gotta see it while we're talking. I'm sorry.
Yeah, go take a look.
I'll
at
be
it.
quiet during this part.
So
That does
Nevarro.
make sense.
Good, thank God.
So Navarro. We go to Navarro, and first of all, he gets like he gets on
No one
comms.
gets that joke.
Yeah.
Well, Kevin started it, and then I got excited.
When Dan is approaching Navarro, he gets on comms with like the spaceport. I was like, oh snap! This is like an actual built out
Well, it's
city.
not. It's not the spaceport.
Or
it's the white 3PO units that
Oh,
are
yeah.
walking through. It's the same voice.
Yeah.
So it's
no,
just.
I'm talking about when he's in the N1 coming into.
I know.
land. Oh, you talking about the voice?
Yeah, so it's just Navarro now has just this Skynet style like
Yeah.
tourist info booth.
It's so, but it was like I was like, oh snap! This is like way more sophisticated than
Yeah.
we were last
It was
year.
funny though, because it was like, oh, why are you here? And he's like, I'm here to see an old friend. I was like, they should have like kept it going, and then the droids are like, that means nothing to us.
Yeah.
We will shoot you out of the sky if you don't give us a good reason.
That's
in
kind of
10
what I
seconds.
expected when he said that. I was like, I don't know, like if you have someone, spaceport authority asking, what are you here for? I'm here to see an old friend. Well, that's sure fucking suspicious, dude.
Like where they're trying to get onto Endor and Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
It's a lame excuse, sir, but it checks out.
But I really love this re-entry into Nevarro, and I even tweeted out. I was like, man, I need a Galaxy's Edge expansion, and it's got to be Nevarro. I want to go to this version of Nevarro so bad.
Star Tours.
Like I want a whole thing. I want a Batu style, but Nevarro. Like that's what I want.
Yeah, let's take out Toontown and put that in for you.
You know,
Frank.
They got money. Iger's he can make it happen.
Cut into the
You got to
I-5.
fly in a Millennium Falcon. You're not happy enough?
Come on, I am happy. Why don't we be happier?
I think that I kind of wonder that if Batu had opened a year later, if they just would have made it
Oh, maybe
Nevarro.
A lot of the critics were wishing that it was more the OT because you can't have because it takes place in the secret. You can't have Vader walking around.
I'm a critic of that as well. For me, Nevarro reminds me so much of Batu. The building designs are even the same.
Yeah.
Like Doc Ondar's Den of Antiquities, which is where you can buy like the legit lightsabers. Mm-hmm. That building is fucking in. I'm pretty sure that building's in Nevarro.
Well, it looked like the Ronto wrap place too, where you could get a Ronto wrap right next to the.
Isn't there like a new VR game or experience?
There is a new. I forget the name
it looks
of it.
pretty
but
cool.
Yeah.
I think you could eat Ronto
You could ask Frank
wraps
about his
like that.
VR experience with Star Wars. He loves it.
Vader Immortal. Yeah, it was cool.
It was very fun. Actually.
Yeah,
Don't worry,
Mustafar.
I can always evade it.
You can always evade it, but I know the
Scoundrels
truth.
drink. It'll happen on there
One day.
Yeah.
Yeah, Vader Immortal Mustafar has like some weird magic thing going on or something. I don't know. And now it's turning into
That's what I've heard.
vegetation.
We got some intel on
intel
episode 2, even though some people have been tweeting about it.
Are we allowed to say it?
No, there's no details. Just that it's
that it's
pretty
good.
rad. Yeah, it's pretty rad. Yeah.
Who are you getting intel from? That's not me.
People that actually got to go in and watch the movie, not on their phone, bro.
Hey.
Yeah, who knows what you're seeing on that thing?
Oh, yeah, did they shake Boba Fett's hand?
Probably.
Yeah.
I think, yeah. Very high chance.
I am 1 degree separated from Taun We.
Oh my
Can you
gosh.
say that?
Oh my god.
Do I want to say that? No.
Yeah. I don't want to be anywhere near that thing. The Kaminoans fucking creep me out. Okay?
They are. I mean, they're cloners. That's creepy. Like,
They're clones.
Well, there you go. There you go. Right.
Anyways, Nevarro is pretty badass.
Nevarro, I'm so obsessed actually with Nevarro. It's like really unreasonable.
I love it.
Like I really am.
It's almost idyllic with still having a little bit of grime and a little bit of like
100%.
being a real place.
Makes me believe that 2-year thing too, because they really built it up.
Yeah, and that's
pretty
where
quick.
I think
Exactly.
there is some stock in that. I don't have an opinion one way or the other.
Yeah.
I don't care how much time has passed, but going to Nevarro, you know what? It seems like some fucking time's passed.
Yeah, I mean, it's more about like what's happening. What are the stories? What are the lessons? That's more important than like the passage of time. Like, does that all line up? It's nice and everything. Like, I like timelines that work together. But like, if the timeline is nebulous and we have this built up Nevarro, do I really need to have? Oh yeah, it took 2 years, 7 months, 3 weeks and 2 days to get it to this level. I don't need that. Like, yeah, it took a couple years. Okay, cool. Like, so then we see Grief. He's a high magistrate. He would correct you if you say magistrate.
Grief, can I tell you, I want Griefs. I've been okay.
You gonna cosplay Grief?
Here's the that's kind of
garments. Are you gonna cosplay?
Yeah, I don't
magistrate?
know. What I will say here, this is super nerdy, super whatever. I've been looking for like a dope wizard costume for Ren Fair.
Oh,
right.
That would fit in.
And I
You
want
want to dress like a wizard, or do you want a costume that is wizard?
I want a red and gold like wizard robes. Bitchin' wizard robes. And
That's so wizard.
I
Sean.
saw Grief's costume. I went, that's it. That's what I want.
You gotta get the little bots too that pick up your cape.
Yeah, we'll make them
get
little like Harry Potter.
Me and
house
Brandon will
elves.
do it. We'll just get on little hoverboards, like those roller hoverboards, and we'll just roll behind you.
But yeah, he looks. I have an episode. There's an episode I've pitched you that I want to do for the show.
Yeah.
When we don't have reviews to do, and I'll tell you what, Grief's got my #1 spot right now for that show.
Drip, drip, drip.
Doesn't Din say wizard in Book of Boba Fett?
He does, yeah.
He does. When he comes back from the N1, she's like, "How was it?" He's like,
Wizard.
Loved it.
I love there's a Robot Chicken sketch where Darth Vader just goes, "How come no one says wizard anymore?" That's so wizard.
But I think like this, even Kevin, you pointed it out. This episode's got some cool fucking droids.
Yeah, I like that one droid, but we were watching it with subtitles and it just said droid, so I don't think it has a name yet, or at least
That protocol
Disney Plus doesn't know.
Ask droid.
Yeah, he's quipping. He's making Austin Powers jokes.
Using his head.
That's using your head. That's a way to get ahead in life.
Wait, so what do you think?
You certainly won't be the head of a major corporation.
Do you think Jon Favreau patted himself on the back when he made that joke?
Yeah,
Kevin, all right, so what about my Nevarro expansion idea? You're a big Disney Galaxy's Edge guy. You go all the time.
You love theme park food.
Yeah, you love theme parks.
I love theme parks.
What's your favorite theme
like
park
if
food?
Navarro was an expansion?
Chicken Caesar salad.
That's a total inside joke. I was loving a chicken Caesar salad one time at Universal. It was so good. I don't know why.
That's amazing. I love that.
Best theme park food ever is at the Hungry Bear, just a regular cheeseburger and fries. I don't know why. It just takes me right back to being a kid. And they haven't changed the formula because it's like the same when I went.
Have you had the Ronto wrap?
I have not, dude. I have not eaten at Disney in the Star Wars land except the blue milk, which is really good.
I had the Ronto wrap last time I was there. It was pretty good.
Solid.
Yeah. That droid knows what he's doing.
How was the indigestion afterwards?
It's fine.
Bring a Pepsid with you, man.
Space Pepsid?
Space Pepsid.
Yeah, for your I like Nevarro.
They have Coke there, actually.
Yeah.
It's in a thermal detonator. They still do that?
Yeah, I think so.
For like $30, probably, yeah.
Navarro's cool. And I do like that the Galaxy's Edge is a neutral planet that you haven't seen. Some people are like, it needs to change to Tatooine. No, it doesn't.
I think it gives them more creativity.
Yeah. But I think that they should have this weekend it's OT and like have everybody be, you can't really do that now because you have like First Order banners and stuff like that.
I mean,
But
didn't
you have
Djarin
the
and
greatest.
I think you could do that with the banners, but the problem is the ride.
Yeah, well, you could reprogram the Falcon ride for sure.
Sure.
Rise of Resistance, you have to believe. You just have to.
You just build the expansion of Navarro.
Well, I mean,
all you do.
the rides
like
are
you
the
have
rides.
Darth Vader.
We can make
You have
things the way
greatest
we
villain.
want them to be.
You have the greatest villain of all time in Darth Vader, and you can't even walk around the
He
park.
could
yet.
though because they have Din and Boba Fett now. They're breaking.
I think they are. I think they're
Yeah.
getting
They're
there
breaking
eventually.
the continuity
Yeah.
a bit.
I mean, it's come on, guys. Let's just live in the whole thing. Come on.
But yeah, where are you gonna build it, bro?
They got land and stuff.
No, they don't.
They
That's
don't.
Actually the
Maybe
big,
in Florida. But
that's
not
the big.
there.
So
All right, then bulldoze over
They've
another
tried.
Don't you
portion.
dare say Matterhorn.
So I will say Disney has tried to expand the park.
Wait, doesn't Florida they have more land out there, don't
Yeah.
they? So do it over there.
Disney has tried to expand the park, and the city of Anaheim will not let them.
Oh well, we're going to Orlando.
So that's that's because originally we were going to get when instead of California Adventure, we were going to get Westcott.
Yeah, I remember that.
Oh, wow.
I remember that in
And
the newspaper.
That's
They-
an awful name.
Well, that's not the
It's
official.
a play
name.
on Epcot, okay? Don't
I got that.
It's great when you explain it.
yeah.
But they wouldn't. Anaheim wouldn't let them have enough space, so they did California Adventure, which kind of sucks.
Here's why I
But
wouldn't
yeah,
want to
but
live
now
in
they're
Navarro.
like changing it to like Pixar this.
Still
and
sucks.
Blah, blah, blah,
Here's
that.
why I wouldn't want to live in Navarro. Imagine us getting all
Francisco.
excited to go to Yard House for wings, and we show up, and then they're like, "No, sorry, this is school." No, I want to go and have my wings and my beer. I don't want to go to school.
Yeah, we'll get some Minot
So you're
wings.
living, yeah.
Yeah,
I
but
want some
he's-
Minot wings.
but then-
you're gonna serve it to me, not in this school. Kick the kids out.
But then Apollo Creed shows up. He's like, "Hey, you could have wings, just like over here."
yeah, in
Yeah,
like
you
his
gotta
grand.
come. Hey, why don't you come to my office for some wings? Am
Yeah.
I right?
They're like, "All right."
That's
Was
how you.
he
That's how you got on the.
Say less,
That's how
Carson.
you got on the waiting list. You think you're going to the bar, but it's at school. But then when you're like, okay, now Smets Party of 17, right this way, and you go, what is it in there? No, that's the school, and here's the restaurant. That's what
Do
they.
you think he was hitting on that pirate when he's like, if you come to my office,
Oh God.
No, he's just like, I gotta say anything to get these pirates away from these children.
Nice little side note, though. It was interesting to see all the people running when the first blaster shots are heard. Like,
Oh,
on like
yeah,
Tatooine, everybody's seen it.
They just stand and look.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this is like, you
even
can
on
tell.
even on Coruscant,
Yeah,
they don't
it-
give a shit.
It's just a small detail, but it shows how safe these people have felt under
Grief. Yeah.
it's great.
What do we think about IG-11? Because this actually really threw me for a loop. I was like, I did not anticipate
No.
Din trying to resurrect IG-11.
Glad we got that pre-Von though, instead of the stuff that
Well,
really mattered.
I thought it was very interesting. They started with the image of him
Yeah.
self-detonating. I was like, why are we...
Yeah, I thought
That's
the
why
same thing.
Pre-Von sometimes you don't want to watch them because it could spoil what if they do a Pre-Von right,
Yeah.
right? Like,
Well,
that
this
means
one
we're gonna
didn't
revisit it.
spoil it. I was like, what? I was like,
it should have spoiled it, but I'm too dumb for it to spoil it for me.
That was cool too with the Pet Cemetery possessed
Terminator.
IG-11 waking
Yeah.
up.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Well,
man.
Sometimes dead is
when
better.
I saw IG in the Prevon, I just assumed they were cool. They're gonna show
the statue.
The statue.
No, I thought
Oh.
they're gonna show everything in the Prevon,
Yeah,
That's
that's
great.
true.
Okay.
And it was done all of a sudden.
and then I'm like, oh, the Prevon's over.
Gotcha.
What?
The ring light reflection in your glasses looks like the. You see it too?
Yeah, I see it.
looks like the stun ring from.
Oh yeah, the stunner.
Stunner in the Star Wars.
Special
movies.
weapons of stun.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Which we see in the most recent episode of Bad Batch, which you can hear us talk about Monday here on this channel.
That's true.
Monday, March.
You don't know your days? Or
No, I
numbers?
don't.
Not a fucking clue. March
7.
No, 4th is when I move date. 5th, 6th, March 6th.
And then you can still watch it on the 7th or listen to it.
You know,
Or listen to it. But yeah, I was really thrown off by this IG-11 wanting to resurrect from Din, and then like the whole. I actually did think when he did turn it on, I was like, it might revert back to its original programming, and then it did.
It was
and
too easy.
It was it would be too easy. And then
super easy, barely an inconvenience.
Why can't L337 be alive? If it's so easy when a droid's like life core die, right? The matrix of leadership,
well,
like in Transformers.
L337 was a little more of a time crunch thing.
Oh, so they had to put him in the.
Was they
her-
needed
Oh, yeah,
to
they had
they
to
needed to
figure it out what
navigate
they-
off
yeah.
of Kessel.
Yeah.
Gotcha. And isn't that sad? The one droid that wants droid freedom is thrown in a cage that now is the
we
Millennium
can
Falcon
talk all
forever.
about that on our solo episode.
That's my favorite Atlantis Morissette's.
They need to get Lando to start dating some humans, or at least biological life
He's
forms
trying.
again.
He's trying.
When it was crawling though, IG-11 and like shooting at him,
Oh,
and,
yeah.
like and Din's just like backing up, and then I love that the droid that like they give the droid the no name droid we've never seen before. He's the one who does
Yeah.
it, and they all look at him like, oh man, I love that.
On the first watch, I was like, why isn't Din just icing this dude? It's because he does not want to damage it any further. It didn't really register with me. Like,
Yeah.
why is he not shooting the head the way he did the first time?
Sure.
IG-11. I was like, oh, duh, because he wants him to be somewhat serviceable. But then the protocol droid, whatever, just drops it.
Do we have theories as to why he wants him so bad? Like what trustworthy?
Basically
because
says it.
Trustworthy and
well,
Does it have something to do with Mandalore or something?
No, it has something to do with Din's backstory because in season 1 we see Din's parents and family were killed by the by the Confederacy of Independent Systems.
So he doesn't trust droids.
Yeah, he doesn't trust droids.
I was thinking that too. With
Season 1 is pretty heavy-handed with him disliking droids.
That's right.
But after IG-11, it doesn't come up as much.
Yeah.
So this was just kind
a
of
reminder.
But he's so connected to this droid because Queel reprogrammed IG-11, and he trusted Queel.
Gotcha.
And then therefore trusted IG-11, and IG-11, ultimately sacrificed its existence.
the ultimate droid
yeah,
hero.
for Grogu, and so as a partner on Mandalore. Plus, the dude is a badass. Like, just go back and watch season 1, just mowing down that whole town or compound or whatever of guys. So
You saw that meme about no, we don't serve their kind here on Tatooine, which was an interesting insight into it. Of the reason why probably is because they're so freaking still scarred by the Clone Wars that they don't trust droids. So
Damn, yeah.
that bartender's like, I don't want any of your kind.
well, yeah, like Cholman might have fought in the Clone Wars or something.
yeah, that's really cool.
pirates.
Well, and because I think the reason it's so important for him to have IG-11 is because if he suspects that it's poison or irradiated or something like that, IG-11 would be able to go in front of him and say,
And trust
yeah,
him.
it's safe,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
he can trust IG-11 to tell him that without.
Love it.
So yeah, so I expect. I guess we'll at least get. Well, then it's going to be like, are we going to kill off IG-11 again? Like that's going to suck.
Yeah, every 3 seasons.
He's the Kenny of Star Wars.
He's actually going to go on
Damn it,
to.
you killed IG-11. Those bastards.
He's going to go on to Riot Race with Tech, and
Hell
they're going to
yeah.
become best friends, and that's going to be a whole other spin-off.
Damn
show.
right, Riot Racing,
How would you feel
back
if,
from the grave.
How would you feel if instead of the Anzellans, we went to Tech to get IG-11 repaired?
And it was like a
man.
CGI modified Tamora Morrison.
Yeah.
Like,
They would have really had to shoehorn that in there somehow.
Yeah,
Maybe he's hiding out on Nevarro.
maybe.
I don't
Maybe.
know, man. Be like, hey, have you heard of these clones? We
yeah,
got one.
This pirate scene between Grief, Din, and the pirates. For the one thing that I actually took away immediately was when, I don't know if you guys thought this, But when Din leans against the tree, I was like, man, that is so Boba Fett in Return of the Jedi. I was, for whatever reason, I geeked out a little bit just because he leaned against the tree.
When he like brushes the chin of the
at that part.
I saw it more like that was such a gunslinger from like the old West movies too. Like,
but I think that's
like
also
a baller move.
But I think that's the Boba Fett template in Return, at least.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Bumbling gunslinger, but gunslinger nonetheless.
Boba Fett.
I
Stop talking any crap about Boba Fett. All right.
Oh, that's right. You shook his hand.
He's
I
your
forgot.
best.
The new best friend.
He's got you got his DNA over there.
Yeah, I do.
forgot.
I-
You gonna clone him?
I'm gonna clone him.
You do know Boba Fett is a fictional character, and you shook the hand of a young actor named Daniel Logan.
You know, I'm gonna shock you here. Daniel Logan's not that young anymore.
Well,
Daniel Logan's older than Brandon and I.
yeah.
Depends on the,
Well, I just
the
think of him as
cloning
young 'cause
age
I remember
process.
Well, I guess
You
it
know,
depends
we
on
don't really
what
know.
clone he shook hands with. I guess.
Yeah, which Daniel Logan?
I don't think you'd be shaking hands with Jeremy Bullock because that means you're grave robbing.
6
and that's
feet under.
weird.
Hey,
Yeah.
I wish I could.
Yeah.
I really liked the pirate scene. I love the pirate practical effects, but I pointed it out to you guys before the show. The Trandoshan looks so silly.
He's like,
Yeah, look at the eyes, because it's like there's that depth of field in the shot, so he's blurred out, you know.
But
and
the
then when you
eyes are
see the
just
eyes,
so,
they-
like,
I didn't
yellow
notice it the
eyes.
first time, but when you pointed it out, I was like, oh man, he's got the crazy eyes.
yeah.
I mean, all Trandoshans do.
True.
I love the Mandalorian a lot, but there is like sometimes you're like, this is a TV budget. I get it.
Yeah.
Sure. Like,
Yeah, you don't want to swipe right on a Trandoshan on Twitter, Tinder.
But you know what?
Because they have those crazy eyes. You know, after a couple dates, they're like, "Hey, I'm in the starship chasing you now."
Well, especially Trandoshans. Hey, you want to go commit some Wookiee genocide?
Yeah,
Oh no.
let's go kill some
man.
Wookiees.
but I was gonna say, you know, Jon Favreau is such a fan of the original trilogy.
Yeah.
Like as it was released.
Yeah.
Well, you had a Klaatuinian, you had a Nikto.
And I think, are you?
And a partridge in a pear tree.
No, Verada is the other one.
Yeah, I'm like, what are you?
Yeah,
getting at
Klaatu.
here?
The one that looks like a bulldog is
What are
a
they? Do you know?
is a
I have no idea.
Klaatuinian. A Nikto is
Interesting.
The head pilot was a Nikto, but there is no Verada. But yeah, they are named after Klaatu, Verada, Nikto.
Yes. As I was saying though, throwing me off my track, Sean.
Sorry,
Yeah, what's wrong with you?
Yeah, how's it feel?
I like it. I think aliens are cool.
I deserve that.
Oh, real quick, sorry.
Ah.
I want to point out before we move past, before you delve super deep into your pirates, you know,
Yarg.
I just got like a quick
Talk.
2-second thing.
Grogu spinning the chair, and do you think they're M&Ms or Reese Pieces?
They are
Skittles.
Reese's what?
Reese Pieces.
You call them Reese Pieces?
I think
They're called
M-
Reese's Pieces.
Jar Jar Binks would say it.
Yeah, whatever.
Hello, Ryan. You want some Reese's Pieces?
Reese Pieces. That's called Reese
He
Pieces.
goes up to ET.
You knew what I was talking about.
Him and ET in the
E.T.
council
is in the
chamber.
But that's
Senate.
why I
Means
think
Reese's Pieces.
I think they're Reese
E.T. is
Pieces
Star
just-
Wars canon.
Yeah.
So,
Species.
Reese's Pieces are dog shit.
What?
Reese's Pieces are dog shit.
You're out of your damn mind. You get out of here.
You get yourself a
You
fucking
move to San
no.
Diego.
Hold on,
I'm staying.
Kevin. What's in a Reese's?
Pieces.
Peanut butter
And?
Pieces.
Chocolate.
Chocolate.
Yeah.
What's in a Reese's Pieces?
It's a piece of a Reese's.
Yeah.
No, it's shitty peanut butter that's nothing like the
With a
peanut butter.
chocolatey shell.
There's
no
no
chocolate.
chocolatey shell.
it's all
I'm
in
sorry.
your mind, bro.
I need to go to the store now and get some Reese's Pieces.
Okay, well, while you're there, get yourself some fucking peanut butter M&Ms and have a good candy.
Today's
All right,
sponsored. Today's show sponsored by Reese's Pieces.
Reese
The
Pieces.
fuck it ain't.
Reese Pieces.
Peanut butter M&Ms. They tried to do what Reese's Pieces.
Yeah, exactly.
Have you had them?
Yeah, I love them.
They're way better than Reese's Pieces.
Kevin has had every candy on this earth. What do you
They
talking
You've ever
about?
gone to a movie with me? It's fantastic for anyone sitting in the general vicinity.
Believe me,
and
I
they
know.
can attest.
He
Yes,
just throws
I
out
can.
fucking
Oh, I'm-
candy confetti.
I'm fucking Willy Wonka at a movie theater, everybody. Just so you know, if you want to sit next to me, I'm Willy
Willy
Wonka.
Wonka's real problematic.
Well,
I'm a fan.
all right, pirate.
Well,
Take.
I was just gonna say that
when you talk your head, I'm gonna get hit.
John Favreau is a big fan of the original trilogy as it was released, clunky effects and all.
McClunky effects.
Yeah, McClunky effects and all. That was later on Disney Plus edition. So I think like there is like an intentional like kind of charm to like how rough maybe some of the like makeup effects kind of look, because he's hearkening back to the original trilogy in the Star Wars that he fell in love with.
Yeah.
And I can appreciate that, because that makes it kind of feel like, all right, this is all part of that same universe, all part of that same world.
Yeah.
This is just how they look. They look kind of dumb.
Kind of dumb. Yeah.
I agree, absolutely.
And they're racist against Wookiees, so they
like a
should
high
look dumb.
quality dumb.
High quality dumb. Well, but this show does such a good job of even paying homage to Legends, because Grief mentions that they are a trade spur of the Hydian Way.
Oh yeah, the hiding way. Yeah.
Which is like one of the major trade routes in Star Wars Legends. It's a hyperspace.
My
lane.
And that was
Wi-Fi network's name Hiding Way.
Is it really?
Yeah.
And that was
great.
something that like Jon Favreau said.
It's not.
It's good.
That was something that Jon Favreau said last night in an interview with Geeks of Color. Check it out. He was talking about like we want to appease fans of every aspect of Star Wars, the prequels, the original trilogy, the sequels, and Legends. Like we want to like have something there for everybody. He used the term expanded universe, but he meant Legends very clearly. So yeah, he's like we want to have something in there for everybody. Like
Where did I hear expanded universe? That's what Legends used to be called.
Yes.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
The EU.
Yeah.
Well, and the not to jump too far forward, because I'm sure we want to talk about the Babu Fricks of
baby.
But the pirate chase scene, all of that to me feels like such a great merging of Legends and sequel trilogy and
OT.
OT.
Because that was like Empire and the Asteroid feel a little bit, or even prequels with
Well, yeah,
Obi-Wan
yeah,
and
so true.
Django. Like,
But I just mean like you've got all
be
the
seeing
you've
him
got all
again.
these Return of the Jedi era alien designs.
oh yeah, oh, okay.
Because all those alien designs are Jabba's palace aliens.
Gotcha. I thought you were talking about the actual
all
sequence.
of
My
it, really,
bad.
but yeah.
Well, but all those pirates, they show up in Jabba's palace. Not those exact pirates, but the aliens.
Yeah.
All of the starships look like Legend starships. I can't place them. If someone recognizes those ships, please put it in the comments, because
I saw the Flying Dutchman, the Black Pearl.
yeah, yeah,
The
the Commodore,
64.
yeah, Commodore 64, and the Lady Luck.
Yeah. Queen Anne's Revenge, Silent Mary.
How many times did they say the name Gorian Shard? I think they said it like 17
They want us to
times.
remember. They want us to remember it, which I appreciate. That.
Sure, 100%.
I appreciate that. Because,
First of all, cool name
yeah,
and cool
look.
character design. If you ask
although
me,
I don't think the name fits the guy.
I did know. Who can say
You
really?
know, yeah.
I just sharded in my pants. Is that
I just Gorian Shard.
Gorian sharded in my pants?
The ship, his flagship, reminds me of an Eclipse Star Destroyer from Legends.
Yeah.
But
I knew it looked familiar.
A
but-
lot of the specific detailing on it is very like Last Jedi, Rise of Skywalker, with a lot of the detailing and the lighting. Which is a good design.
That's cool
Despite
design.
our whatever your opinion of those movies are. If you want to find out ours, listen to our last episode on.
Before I found out that Brandon wasn't able to stay for the actual screening of the episodes, I was like insanely jealous that because if you were like I thought you were there, so I was like, oh my god, he saw this space battle on a big screen. I would pay good money to see this space battle or dogfight.
I'm not important.
It's so funny too. It went from at the beginning of the space battle. It felt kind of slow at first, right? And they were just setting up the stakes and whatnot, and I understand what they were doing. But like in my head, I was like, all right, they're playing his theme. Like if you notice, they were playing his theme in the first part of it, and it was very kind of methodic, right? It wasn't like a scored scene like the asteroid chase from Empire,
Right.
So at first, I was like, yeah, right. And this is how quickly it turned. It turned from that to one of my favorite space battles in all of Star Wars. When he's popping out, and then they have that instrument that like with each kill.
Yeah.
I don't know what the Valacord. Let's just call it. Each kill timed to like that beat and that sound and that his calling card, his WWF theme. If he was coming out of the theme, it was so cool. And also it was like it reminded me of like, oh, this could have been what like Rogue Squadron is. Like you realize like how much of a badass pilot he is, and he's just methodically now taking out each one until it's finally left to that one guy. And I'm like, that guy must be, gory and sharding his pants right now.
Right.
he was almost taking him out like he was Batman.
Yeah, it
yeah,
was the space equivalent of Batman.
Well,
That was
Mandalorian
great.
is Batman.
Wait,
like, if you
who
think
did
about
the?
it. Orphan,
There's an episode in season 1.
grappling hook.
Afraid of droids.
There's an episode in season 1 where he does do Batman.
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
Was that also a Rick Famuyiwa episode, if I remember correctly?
Is that the one?
been.
Is that the one where he's hanging on the side of the?
No, that's
sand
the
problem?
The Prisoner. You're talking about the episode of The
Rick
Prisoner?
Famuyiwa almost did
Yeah.
the Flash also.
It's the one where he returns to go meet with the buyer. With what's his name?
That is the 7th episode. I don't know if that is. You're talking about the client.
The client.
Yeah,
Thank you.
that's the 7th episode. I don't know if that was Rick or not.
Get Rick Famuyiwa to do a Batman movie. Raven the Bold. Let's go.
That was great. The space battle.
I'm down for that.
It made sense. Then it was like, oh, that's why they're playing this theme in the beginning, and then it was like the crescendo of the song and of the track and of the scene. And so I was like, mass respect. I mean, it's not. It's like it's cracked my top 5. I think.
I do
somewhere
appreciate.
Yeah, it's bitching, dude.
I
for
do
real.
appreciate that the Nick though was playing him a little bit, leading him back to the ship.
That's
Oh,
true.
yeah,
It takes away a little of the. He
But
got
then-
duped a little.
They all forgot that hyperspace was a thing.
Well,
Yeah, and he has
that's
that
not-
mega booster.
It's not that because, despite the holdo maneuver, you can't jump when there's another ship blocking your path.
Yeah, you got to know.
So it is
Go
the fact
backwards,
that he's
bro.
got that booster.
But he could have done that at any point during the chase, right? So
Sure.
he wanted to hang around and make these guys pay.
I told you, Din is a murderer and he likes killing people.
But it's like, if you otherwise you're just gonna have these guys keep following you relentlessly.
It's
like,
okay,
no matter
Grogu.
what. You might as
Daddy's
well
gotta
just take
teach
them
these
out.
men some lessons.
The only thing I will say is the gravity, like when he's upside down and Grogu. I get it because it was like for comedic effect where Grogu starts to fall,
Oh,
but like
yeah.
that would happen all the time then in every scene. Like we're up and down in space, so that was kind of funny how that happened because that wouldn't happen. Because when we're on the Millennium Falcon at Disneyland,
we
were
never
fine.
moved. Yeah.
That was real.
Yeah, 100%.
Absolutely
Yeah.
Yeah.
On the real Millennium Falcon.
The real one.
Yes, it was.
Not the fake one that was in Revenge of the Sith. This was the real one.
Yeah. Real side note. Speaking of Grogu, when they're in hyperspace, the Purgle, when Grogu goes from like the capsule down and
That
like,
was cool.
snuggles
It's very
with Mando,
cute,
I was
yeah.
like, oh my.
How come
God.
R2 never went down and snuggled with Anakin?
It's funny because I thought about that when he first came in there. I was like, oh, that's a lonely way to travel, and I like that they established no, he can go in.
There's like a
there.
little.
Like,
they
Yeah.
they made a shoot for him to go
and it probably
back and
tickles
forth.
him because he's like, woo, here he comes. Ticklish.
I like that he tucks himself under the bandolier.
Yeah, the band. Yeah, it was very cute. Very cute. So then we get to.
Well, we didn't talk about the Anzellans.
Yeah.
Quickly, my phone's gonna die, so I can't actually pull up the questions.
Okay, I
'Cause,
can pull up the questions. Yeah.
But one of our lovely Discord members asked if we thought that Babu Frick was one of those Anzellans.
I was hoping.
Now, the one that
I
Din,
saw that question. That was
that was predominantly talking to, does look very much facial design like Babu, but the goggles are different. Of course, there's a 30-year gap, so who knows if it's the same or not. We don't know.
You just answered it.
It was
Probably.
Prodigal Knight 777 asked, was that Babu Frick, a Nevarro, or just his species? Yeah, I think it was just his species.
Yeah.
Like, there's 3 of them. There's not 3 Babu Frick, but
More the merrier.
Well, we don't know. We don't know how they procreate or.
I don't
I've
need
got
to
an
know.
idea.
I bet you it's more fun to procreate with that species than a Mandalorian.
No
from
squeeze.
From the watch, because you could take your helmet off.
No squeeze.
Yeah, they're real good at small talk.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I that scene was so charming to me.
It was very funny.
I thought of you. I knew you were having in your car. You were gonna almost get in an accident while you saw it.
That's his road rage voice when he's.
Hey!
Bad baby. Bad
You're
driver.
broken.
Bad driver. Bad
Eyes
driver.
broken.
Blinker broken. No fix broke.
Not
Go
friend.
Pep Boys.
No friend. No memory bank.
So
no friend.
we just have a little bit more to get to. So Din ends up going to Kalavaga.
God bless you.
Kalavaga. Yeah. Homeworld of Bo-Katan, or where she resides.
Yeah,
That was
current
interesting
residence.
because he was like, all right, I got to go get this part to fix IG-11. But then he shows up at Bo-Katan's house and he's like, I want to join you. And I was like,
Well, if you've
is
got
this a long con to get a part?
I mean, if you've got a list of errands, it's your Saturday.
on the
you
way
got a
home.
list of errands.
He doesn't actually
Gotta
want
stop
to
at Home
join us.
Depot and then I gotta
Swing by.
swing by
I
Bo-Katan's
don't
pad.
think. Well, I think that he knows she's going back, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that he's just got a bunch of pans on the fryer. He's ready to go. He needs to get there somehow, and he knows Bo is going back, or at least that was her original plan.
You have a ship, just go.
Right
on the
but
map.
He doesn't know that it's
No one erased it from the archives memories.
The big question is whether it's even habitable or if you can even go there, because if it's irradiated or poisoned. So that's his big question, and that's why he wanted IG-11 in the first place.
Kate Sackhoff just crushed that scene, by the way. Like
she was
just,
so
she's so
good.
like defeated and like thinks that Din is just being an idiot, but also like she's just like fucking been left too because she doesn't have. You could tell like she's just dripping with like, but you got the saber. Like she thinks if she would have had that, kept the dark saber or had the dark saber, they would have followed her. But like
I think it's an act.
I don't.
You think that's all undercover or whatever?
Yeah.
You think she's lying about the fleet and everyone going off and being mercenaries?
I think to an extent, because there's the scene in.
I just don't know why. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
There's the scene in the trailer where she has Grogu, and she's kind of a little menacing about it. And so I think she's trying to play him for some end goal.
I avoided the trailer, bro. Thanks for spoiling.
Get the fuck over it.
I'm kidding.
I think that she's trying to play him in some way, and because it is a little bit of a 180 from where she was last time we saw her.
Well, I mean, I can't really blame her if like she was anticipating getting the dark saber on Gideon's ship, and then in comes walked in, and she's really got no quarrel with him besides the fact that he's part of the Children of the Watch. Aside from that,
could you remind me how he ended up with, like, I forget that end scene. So why does he have it? Yeah,
because
like, did
ran
she let him?
No, he defeated Moff Gideon.
And then he had to keep it. She wanted it, but she's like, you're the one who beat him, so
she would have to kill him basically.
Yeah, okay.
Or get him to yield,
which he did do, and
that would be
Moff
a nice
was like,
thing.
That it doesn't work that way. It's about the story more than it is about the actual saber, and that's what gives the power to the wielder of the dark saber. So I guess she is conflicted enough that she does not want to fight Din, but knows that if she wanted the dark saber, that's how she would have to do it. And so, which is interesting because if she's becoming kind of like an adversary towards Din, then why wouldn't she fight?
Does she not
Din?
think she could beat him?
I think that she wants to make sure she has the upper hand when she does. Bo-Katan would kick Din's ass. Like,
I mean,
ooh,
I don't know.
Well,
He's
it
got
depends.
a lot of
It's
new
not like he's
Beskar.
not inexperienced.
I've got a Din thought. I want to wait another episode before I say it. But I think people complained about Rey being a certain trope. I think Din might be a little more of a Gary Stew, if you will.
Now I will combat that a little bit because I remember in the first season it seemed like in every battle he was getting his ass kicked.
He was.
We're like, it's like every time he was getting his ass whooped, and we're like, dude, this Mandalorian sucks. Like he would get whooped by other Mandalorians. So I don't know if he was so much a Gary Sweet or whatever you call it.
Yeah,
Isn't that
Gary Sweet.
Gary Sweet,
Gary
isn't that someone who worked on the movies? I don't know.
Yeah,
but I don't know because you remember that first season he was getting his butt kicked on the desert or on Tatooine for a little. He got captured or his ass kicked by a bunch of Jawas, and then like the beast and Grogu helps him out. Like he was
Jawas
getting
are
his
tough,
ass
He was
kicked
getting killed by the
nonstop.
Mudhorn. He should have died by the Mudhorn.
Yeah,
But he didn't. Yeah,
and
so.
you just saw it, right? So it's
Yeah.
fresh on your.
It's-
Season 1, he was taking his licks.
He was not doing too great a lot of the time.
Yeah.
And like he would have died at the compound where Grogu was at if it wasn't for IG-11. Sure. So, he kind of he has this naiveness about him walking into situations or just about life or Mandalorian life when compared to Bo-Katan's take on it. Because she calls him a fool. Like, dude,
Yeah.
like what do you
It's not
you
like he hopped in a
just-
Millennium Falcon and learned how to fly it from
He's
living
a
on
fool.
Jakku our whole
Nobody
life.
hops in and anyone Starfighter.
But an honest fool he remains.
Oh, that's a good trick.
I mean,
He told Sauron nothing. of
I've
Frodo
never
Remains.
driven a race car, but I could probably drive
Yeah.
it pretty fast.
We might see you
But
again.
can you outdrive some street racers?
Give me Dominic Toretto any day, baby.
If I put you in a NASCAR race right now, you come dead last.
Yeah, obviously.
I wish our
but
show
I would,
was
Well,
on-
it doesn't matter.
but I
if
would
he
go
ain't
really
first.
fast. But I would still go really fast.
So, anyways, I love the Bo-Katan interaction because
It's cool.
because I'm waiting for everything that's going to deep dive into this Mandalorian culture war.
Yeah. And I think what this episode and season's really going to be about is about Mandalorian culture and Din's place within it and how he views himself in it. And I think that's why the decision for Grogu and Din to reunite in Book of Boba Fett happened, because the show is not about Grogu deciding whether or not he's going to be a Jedi or a Mandalorian. It's about the Mandalorian. That's the name of the show, The Mandalorian. And Grogu is on a path to be a Mandalorian, really. I mean, Grogu or Din's kind of like teaching Grogu in the ship before the space battle. He's like, hey, this is your field gauge. This is your enemy proximity, radar. Looking at all the instruments and teaching him different things that he wasn't doing in seasons past or before he went off with Luke, because he thought Grogu's place was with the Jedi. And the show is not about Grogu becoming a Jedi. It's not about that training. It's about the Mandalorian
Grogu,
and the culture. Yeah. So I think that's maybe part of their reasoning why they did it in the Book of Boba Fett.
Show.
Yeah, that's how I kind of reason with it, and I'm cool with that.
If Grogu, aka at the time Baby Yoda, wasn't such a sensation, do you think it was always in the plans for Grogu to be this big a part in the show, or do you think he was originally going to just drop him off and then we would not see him again until another series?
No, I think he would have been.
It was always part of it.
Yeah.
I also kind of think they knew they would. Look, there's people within Disney that were like, "Oh, this is going to hit on some level.
Yeah.
Maybe not to the level that it's gone to, but they're like, we've done enough research in the past. We have enough focus groups to know that people like small little creatures."
There was a moment with
creatures,
Grief 2 where I thought they were going to go meta when he was like, "Oh, the little one," and he's like, "His name is Grogu," and it's like, what if? Because everybody knew who Yoda was, right? What if they went meta and he was like, "Yeah, well, now you came back suddenly to my town with Baby Yoda over here," right? Can you imagine if they did that?
Dude,
the internet
would
have been so pissed, but like it would have been really funny.
Yeah,
like
it would've been funny.
if I forget if Yoda was such a famous.
You come back to Nevarro with
He
Baby
was-
Yaddle over here.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, he would have been well known among some circles, but I don't know that.
He would have known it.
Yeah.
He'd be like, Yoda, who's that? No, his name's Grogu,
But
man.
also at this point, the Empire had spent like 20 years trying to erase the Jedi from history.
Yeah, like can you tell me who was the fucking head of the Secret Service during the Iraq War?
Yeah, it was Gary Sweet.
It was it was
what you
Mace
call it.
Windu, bro.
I have one thing before we move on too. I forgot to mention it in the beginning, and it's my problem with a lot of movies, but you have to do it because the monsters have to be scary, right? So that, as you called it, the dino turtle. So like in Jurassic World, right? When they're shooting machine guns at the Indominus Rex, and like, I'm sorry, I don't care how big you are, like bullets are piercing through vitals. Like so it's kind of funny that there's so many blaster bolts going, and I get it. Like if there were little people right here shooting like mini bullets at us, wouldn't that start hurting us eventually? Like we'd be like,
Eventually.
But like I always have a problem with like movies where the monsters are just taking so much fire. It happens with Bad Batch too, where it's like it's getting shot in the mouth. Like, dude, if you get shot in the mouth by a little person, like that's gonna hurt. You're gonna be like, oh,
it's gonna be annoying.
At
the very least, be annoying.
I think that fight scene was sloppy, personally.
Okay.
I like a lot of I love the spectacle of it, but I think it was sloppy.
But like is armor really that strong on any creature that you wouldn't be able to pierce it with like mines on the back and
Bad Batch? Just gonna say, what happened?
Yeah,
with
we're
Bad
talking
Batch?
about it in Bad Batch.
Well, yeah, I know. I'm just saying.
So yeah, certain speeches can be.
But in real life, would that happen?
Well, but
I'm
in
saying,
real life,
like a turtle. If there's a turtle right here with a turtle shell, we shoot it with a bullet that's going right through the freaking turtle shell's freaking back.
But those aren't bullets. Right.
Okay, if I had a blaster, don't you think that I'd shoot a turtle and the turtle's gonna die, or is it gonna reflect off freaking Raphael over here and shoot all over the?
I think there's a chance that it might not pierce the shell.
Interesting.
But you've got a giant super thick-skinned creature.
Yeah.
And you're shooting, hot air based. I mean, a blaster is a laser.
But isn't it like a thing that's at the level of the sun, right?
I also think.
Also, it's a movie about wizards and space whales, so I'm fine with it. But like I always in every movie, it's like, how many shots is it going to take to kill the Indominus Rex?
Look,
it's more my problem with Jurassic
World. If we want
to
tear apart Star Wars on that kind of level, we could do that all the live long day. So,
how does the saber stop? It would be a nonstop light all the way to the space.
Guys, join us next episode.
The forever saber
when we rip apart Jurassic World.
What would be our name for Jurassic World's? What was our Indiana Jones name for the Scoundrels Inc. spinoff?
Archaeologist
LLC. We're starting a new podcast called Archaeologist LLC because we saw Indy together.
Any final thoughts on this season premiere? Oh, actually, what did you think of it overall, and did it live up to expectations, Brandon?
I enjoyed it. Yeah, I don't know if I had like expectations. I try to just like let myself experience it, and just whatever story they want to tell me, that's what I'm gonna get. Unless I start like sniffing stuff out, and I'm like, "Ooh, are they gonna get into like Snoke with this like cloning stuff over here? What's going on?" I don't know.
Kevin,
tune into our Bad Batch review and find out.
Oh yeah. Kevin, what do you think of the episode overall?
I loved it. These shows, like, anytime we get Star Wars live action, like, I like the animation too, but just you get excited. It just kind of just brings you back to, like, you're getting settled in. And I love how the cold open leads to the theme with the Mandalorian and the chapter number and the name of the title. So all in all, I would give it an 11 out of 10. No, I'm just kidding. But, like, yeah, I enjoyed it, and I like the story and the universe they're building. I really hope it eventually builds up one day to like a Avengers level movie in the theaters, just because like it would be fun to watch these things on the big screen. So we all can't go to red carpets like Brandon over here.
Well, I didn't get invited to the screening.
Oh, that's right. You saw it on your phone.
We're just gonna keep reminding him that he didn't get invited to the screening.
Yeah, that was a clever way of me to. But yeah, it was fun, and I think that I'm excited to see what happens.
Bro.
Yeah. Or Sean.
I think this is a great setup for the rest of the season. I'm not nearly as high on it as a lot of people are. I love this episode. I love it. I've never not liked an episode of The Mandalorian, right? But I think it was mostly set up, and I thought it does a great fucking job of setting up all of the conflicts. I think we're gonna have. I already forgot the pirate's name. Great Gregarious Slade.
You sharded your pants, right? So
Seaweed face.
Seaweed face.
Davy Jones with
Davy Jones. Gorian Shard.
Gorian Shard. I think he's going to be a recurring antagonist. We do have a question.
Yeah, we have a few for Amanda related questions. I will say
that's good. Though, keep it here.
My thoughts on the episode overall. I immensely enjoyed it. I'm not going to say it's my favorite of all the Mandalorian episodes. I do think, like, if you judge it by the other two premiere episodes, I think it's on par with, like, season 1 premiere, maybe a step below. Season 2 with the Marshal is just, like, and it's like,
oh, yeah.
It's so good.
Yeah.
But this one, I think you're right. It does set up wonderfully what we're going to be tackling this season, and it sets these seeds of every little aspect, the Nevarro, the Mandalorian, the pirates and all that with Nevarro and stuff. So it'll be interesting to see and how it plays out the next 7 weeks, which I'm really excited about. All right, so we have some questions from our Discord pertaining to Mandalorian. We've kind of touched on some of this. Maddie Gunner, he comes in with, why do Anzellans seem to have problems with droids' memories? It's like the only thing they don't know how to fix.
Why do I look at Brandon like he should know?
Hey!
Droid memory go blank. blank. They know how to fix it. They just don't have the part.
Yeah, I think that's...
Yeah, that's funny, too, because he's like, oh, no, you get the part? No, I'll fix it.
Yeah, basically,
like, I can't do it right. Yeah. I can't do it. Oh, you get the part? Yeah, then I'll fix it.
Oh, no problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, I'm not going to get the part.
Yeah, I think
you want to get the part.
Yeah, I think that's what it is.
Okay, I like this question a lot here. It's from Ehite Nama. His name changes every week. Do you think they're preparing to show us Hondo with the pirates from the premiere episode?
I hope so.
No.
Wow, way to just kill my dreams, bro.
I don't think that we will see Hondo in The Mandalorian, because I think we'll see Hondo in either Skeleton Crew or Ahsoka.
I will say...
Ooh, I hope it's Skeleton Crew. Little
yeah,
lighter,
me too.
Little lighter fare.
I will say I think it's a reasonable question to ask, given that, I think the pirates are going to be so prominent in this season. I would love to see Hondo. Is be like, I'm a pirate, but like I'm not that kind of pirate.
Yeah, these guys are assholes. Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. I don't want him to be associated with these pricks.
So when I saw the pirates at the door, I got excited because I thought it was going to be Hondo.
See?
So and then as soon as they kept saying Gorian
Shard,
that's when I went, oh, we're not going to see Hondo in this.
I guess the episode needed to say his name one more time for Sean to remember. Brandon, what do you think about Hondo showing up?
It could happen.
Now, Brandon,
cool.
you're a big fan of Hondo from Rebels and from Galaxy's Edge.
Huge fan. Yeah, I love it when he talks to me before I fly the Millennium Falcon.
Hell yeah.
After I shove a little kid out of the way and I go, I don't want to be in the seat on the left or the seat on the right where you get to punch it?
You're like, I'm right-handed. Give me the.
Well, just to let the record state, when I rode with Frank, even though I was on the seat where you're supposed to do it, I said, "Bro, take the honors." So he got.
He did.
It's called a good friend, right
But
there.
that was before he almost shut down a
kid was
6-year-old.
crying in the back, just trying
6
to
years old. He was at
fire
least
weapons.
7.5.
Those awkward controls on the wall. Like you're like,
Yeah.
this is so not.
And you know how many
much
germs
fun.
you're getting? Oh my God! I hope you
Why
brought
did they
some.
design it like that?
That's going to be it for the question because we did answer Prodigal Knight 777's question of was it Babu Frick and Nevarro just a species, and we kind of went over that. So
It's his parents.
this is parents. Yeah, they're in a throuple. Okay, so that's gonna.
That's funny.
If you didn't hear, if you asked a question, you didn't hear it answered, stay tuned for the Bad Batch episode.
Yes.
They'll be there. Before you do all the plugs, I just want to say, Kevin, thanks for coming on this journey with us.
Yeah.
You're gonna be missed.
I know. It's going to be a fun season, so I'll just watch it along. And now, I'm going to start submitting questions in the Q&A.
God.
Oh,
So you know.
oh no!
You know what's
You'll be our
happening.
official San Diego correspondent.
I'll come on. So yeah, definitely. Hopefully I'll try to make it up for the
finale.
Finale. You got to do something like that. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not the end of the world to jump on. You may have to tape it a little later if I have to get
I
up
want
here.
wings.
But yeah, so for sure. We'll
Wings.
tape an
Wings,
episode and then eat some wings, some
Hell yeah.
Minoc wings. Who said that? That was funny earlier.
I
today.
did. I said that.
You said
very well
Minoc
done.
wings?
Yeah.
Yeah, he did.
I must have missed that.
Yeah, you were probably trying to talk over me.
Yeah, probably. I get really excited for one episode.
I know that's what
Yeah, it
happens.
was
man.
great.
It's
It was
what
just-
happens.
You just
Hold
sounded
on,
like
Brandon.
Hayden Christensen when he said episode.
Brandon, I like excited Brandon.
No, it was great. I don't-
personally.
Looking back on it now, it was great.
Yeah, but Frank was having a crisis of faith.
Not really, but I was just like, holy crap.
It's
Anyways,
like,
okay.
I can't, I couldn't help it.
Yeah.
You know? I was like,
You just love that movie so much.
like in the back of my mind, I'm like, I know I'm talking over Frank right now, but I cannot stop.
Just
Like,
Frank?
I
Just
feel
Frank?
bad.
Or are we just talking about just Frank? or?
It was
and
mostly
Kevin.
Frank and Kevin. I was fine.
yeah, you were good. Yeah,
I let Sean talk. you know.
Yeah. All right, thanks for tuning in, and come back every Thursday, 10 a.m. Pacific.
No, you don't
on
need to
our-
anymore. I'm not on the show. Everybody, I'm starting a new podcast called Scoundrels South.
Wow, we're suing.
Scoundrels stink.
Scoundrels stink down.
Or you just hate watches our podcast and talk.
No, he hate watches. He hate
It's a
watches
reaction.
Bad Batch.
Yeah.
Let's see what dumb
Gonna
stuff
miss you
Brandon said
guys,
this week.
and I'm sure that I'll be back for several episodes.
Yeah,
just gotta
maybe-
figure out how it happens.
Maybe you can come guest on our next Bad Batch review.
Yeah, you know what? If you guys have a room for me, I'd love to be a
Okay,
special
cool.
guest.
We'll work it out.
Let's
Have
all
our
wear the
people
same
call your
clothes.
people.
Yeah.
yeah.
We're the same clothes too, so nobody's
Yeah,
confused.
no one's the
That'd be
wiser.
really fun.
Like we're all wearing the same, like one big shirt with 4 holes in it.
Oh wow,
We'll
that's
be
where
like
you-
Foden Bede, guy.
All right, we'll see you next Thursday, same time, same place, and we'll see you on Monday for our Bad Batch review.
Please show Foden beat on the screen when he says that, so people know what he's talking about.
Nah, they don't know. Fuck them.
Scoundrel. Scoundrel. I like the sound of that.